As somebody who runs Google Ads accounts for a living, I see the same mistakes all the time. And in this video, I'm going to show you a bunch of mistakes that people use that you can look into your account and make fixes instantly. So let's get into the video. Just before we get into it, if you want something to look after your ads, someone to fix it, manage it monthly, please get in touch. I'm a digital marketing consultant and I'll love to help you out. But now let's get into it. And the first mistake I always see in Google Ads accounts are people not tracking conversions properly. And if you're not tracking them properly, your account is basically flying blind and you can't make the most out of the bidding strategies such as maximize conversions, target ROAS, because Google doesn't know what is accurate or not. So for example, in this account, I am tracking purchases, which is perfect. I'm also tracking begin checkout and add to basket, but I'm telling Google, especially within the campaign, just to go after people making purchases. This is because if you're telling Google to basically target people who are just landing on the web page, it's going after people who are just likely to just click willy-nilly rather than those actually going in and making a purchase on your website. So always double check that this is set up correctly and just target things that matter, such as like lead generation, people filling out forms, making phone calls, purchases, stuff like that. The second thing I see often are people using the wrong bidding strategy. You see a lot of people going for clicks because they think, well, if I get more clicks on my website, basically I'm going to be better off in terms of your money. But that's not really the case. You always want to try to choose something such as conversions or conversions value. And if you have 30 conversions or more during the month, I recommend to also target a target CPA. This is so Google, for example, if you're giving Google a lot of information who your perfect customer is, if you're not using conversions or conversion value, you're basically saying, oh, just keep choosing people who more or less click on my ad. You probably see more clicks come through, but it's not going after those who are actually going to make a purchase, and that's what brings you money. So always make sure you're using conversions or conversion value, and if you have enough conversions through, use target CPA or target ROAS on them. The next issue is things that happen in a lead generation business. For example, if you're creating a campaign from scratch, like I am right now, they will click on this, which is fine, but then they will choose performance max. And on lead generation campaigns, do not click performance max. Just go for search. And the reason why is because on Performance Max, it works pretty good when it comes to shopping campaigns and where people make a purchase, because you can utilize the Google shopping feed, you can utilize display ads a lot more. But when it comes to lead generation, for example, a plumber, if you want a plumber, people are more likely to just search that on Google and then click on your ad. And using PMax, they're just going to waste your budget into places where you don't want it, and you're better off just using a search campaign to go after that traffic instead. Next is the location one. A good example is this is for a lot of UK businesses. A lot of times it can be awkward going to places and sending it out. For example, I have a customer here that uses UK audience but doesn't use Northern Ireland, and it's a common mistake where people will forget this sort of information. It could be even a similar thing to like the United States. If there's extra shipping costs, etc., to go to Hawaii, you might just want to exclude that out, even though you could potentially sell there. Maybe it's too awkward and you're better off just putting your budget elsewhere into the account. For example, on here, I've got the location as United Kingdom, but I'm excluding Northern Ireland as well. And whilst we're on this, a bonus mistake that a lot of people use is going to the location options and having presence or interest. I recommend every account just go on presence, because, for example, it could be people just interested in services or also interested in the United Kingdom, and you don't want it to go to them people. You want to go to the target area, especially if this is like a localized business. You just want to around that area rather than people looking for like a holiday. For example, it's London. A lot of people going to London on holidays. You don't want them people to see your ads. Just keep it relevant to that area. The next issue I see often is too many campaigns too early, especially in terms of your budget. I don't have a visual example of this, that's why you're just seeing me, but I've gone into so many campaigns where people have about 5 campaigns within there, and they're spending about £20 a day, and they have different categories within each campaign, but they're not spending enough to get the amount of conversions you can use to really maximize your max conversions, that sort of thing. And what I recommend you to do, especially if it's in a similar industry, for example, I help run a business when it comes to their like car plates, and even if they have different types of card plates, just get all of them within the one campaign and just different ad group, and then Google can optimize, really push whatever is working the best for that campaign and make it as profitable as possible. So don't try to string your like too many campaigns across your ad account. Try to get loads of ad groups within the one that are all like the similar thing. Things that don't include this, for example, if you sell TVs and then you also might sell, I don't know, let's say kettles, you might not want this because it's a different sort of audience. But when it comes to things that have a similar audience, just keep it under one roof if you can. The next mistake that I see often is just poor ad copy. And you don't really need to overthink ad copy, but you need a few of the basics. The 3 things I recommend you use the most are, first of all, target your keywords. For example, in this campaign, I'm going after things like 3D plates, 3D card number plates, and make sure that these are within your ad copy somewhere or some variation of them. You also want to try to hit on people's issues. For example, people might want a DVLA compliant plate, and having this in the copy can show that if they had any issues before, if it not being DVLA compliant, they get this with this service. And finally, one thing I always recommend people to do, if you have got a great offer, make sure you mention that within your ads, whether the headline or the copy. For example, this business has a UK free delivery, but you wouldn't have known on the ad previously before I added it on. So always make sure if you've got a great USP, great offer, get that within your ads campaign, because it can really help stand out in a competitive field. And another mistake what people do on the account is not have any negative keywords at all. And if you don't have any negative keywords, it can just waste your money on things that people just aren't purchasing from, and it's just depleting your sources, and you want to get that money into as much as possible into things that are working. And for example, on this account, this is quite a fresh campaign, but you can see I've put some competitors within here, and I've also put things like oversized, which they don't do. So if people are searching for a plate that is oversized, we can roll that out. And also some informational queries here. So people say like, what is this size in blank, or what is a personalized number plate, that sort of thing. I'm trying to cut that out from this campaign. So basically, people who are searching for informational queries don't see it. I want to put the money into things that where people are making a conversion, not what people are just asking questions for. And for the next mistake, we are back in the settings, and this one is networks. I recommend you turn search network and display network both off. This can basically point your ads to the Google's network partners, which you don't want. You'll see it in different locations, especially on things like PMax, where you just go on a website and you see different ads across, and it could be completely inappropriate for your audience, especially if you're lead generation. So make sure these are switched off, so you basically get all your budget put into Google rather than other places. You don't want it other places. Let's just put the money into Google, because that's what you're paying for. The next thing you should do is always try to put an A/B test within your ads, within an ad group, always within the campaign. You can try a few things. You can try out the ad copy, you can try out the different bidding strategies, etc., just to see what is best for your account long term. For example, in this example, I've got 2 ads. You might think they're exactly the same, but one is offering the free UK delivery as a main headline, and the other one isn't. And in this case, I will try to target what is probably getting the best cost conversion, because that's basically getting the most conversions for the money. So in this case, I'm going to let it run for like 3 months or something, and you can see the clicks disparity is a lot bigger than what you can see. But if I give it some time, if one highly outperforms the other, I can basically just pause the other one, put the money towards the one that's performing, and basically just try another A/B test after that, after I know which one is best for the account. So yeah, don't waste time. Don't just like leave it. Just try different things out to try to improve your conversions even further. That's exactly what we do when it comes to Google Ads Expert. The next mistake I see all the time is, especially for lead generation businesses as well, they might have their offices 9 till 5, and that's when people pick up the phone from Monday to Friday. But they also have their ads live during the weekend, where people might not be ready to make that decision just straight away. And also, if they phone up the business, they won't get an answer. If you're a 9 till 5 business Monday to Friday, I recommend strongly to put your ads live 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 whenever people are in the office, because otherwise, if people wanting to phone your business or get in touch ASAP and are ready to make a decision and you're not there, it can easily just waste some budget, and you may as well put the weekend budget that you've got and just shove it into the Monday to Friday, so you got more spend on those days, and also you're ready to get the phone call picked up and then finalize their order or inquiry. And here's a great example of it in principle. For example, on this ad, I've got an ad schedule, as you can see here, and I've got it running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but not the weekend, because that's when these guys do not operate. So it's just wasting the money if they do push ads on these days. The next mistake I see often are people making a decision too quickly. For example, in this campaign, I set it live 2 weeks ago, and as you can see, at first it didn't spend the full amount. The person who I'm working with on this account was a bit worried that it wouldn't spend the full amount. It was spending £33, £48, £44, etc. per day, when it should be spent £125. And then, as you can see, as the time went on, it started increasing more, catching back up. And Google is constantly learning, because a lot of people make a mistake of it going through a learning phase, which Google normally says it takes 5 days. For example, if something happened with the conversions on the website and it said 0, so you're not tracking it anymore, you would see your ads absolutely decimate and start dropping down, because Google is constantly learning from the information you are giving it. So be patient when you first set it up. Make sure everything is all obviously set up from the start, and you could even give it just a month of it running so it gets the information coming through. But yeah, don't try to make too many mistakes unless you made a massive mistake on the account. But what about the complete opposite side of that? What about if you're having your Google Ads account run for a long time but not seeing as many conversions as you wanted? This is an example of an audit I did recently. This is like the other 2 months that this account has been live, and as you can see, they are spending a fair whack of money, but they've only had 2 conversions from it. So this is kind of the opposite when it comes to what we've just seen. This is an account that has been running ads for a while. They are not seeing enough conversions for their money at all. There is clearly a big issue when it comes to the tracking on this account, and if you have an issue like this, just get in touch. For example, you can get in touch with me, my links are in the description. Just get in touch with an expert or try to fix it yourself, because this is not acceptable performance. And these guys, to be honest with you, probably left it a little bit too late when it comes to the account. They should have got in contact with me a while ago, but I'm going to look to improve this account soon enough. So yeah, if you do see things like this and you are concerned about your Google Ads account, don't just wait for it to get better. Please get in touch with someone. And the last mistake I see often when it comes to Google Ads account is auto apply settings. You can see from this account that there has been some auto apply added. This is a new account that I have just audited. These are not trustworthy in the slightest. You will get a lot of recommendations when it comes to auto apply. I must have turned these guys auto apply settings off when I saw the issue on the account. But if you just start operating this, Google will kind of make the changes without your consent. I've seen it where it changes things from target ROAS to maximize conversions, removes the target ad strategy. It kind of just reacts very, very quickly. And it's best, I mean, there are a few on here that can be okay, but as a baseline, I recommend just turn these off, because I see horror stories when it comes to these things all the time. It just adding running broad keywords, adding running negative keywords that normally perform for accounts. Just get rid of this. So just go to the admin account settings, just untick all these, and it will relieve a lot of stress on your account, believe me. And that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you think of any other issues you see often within a Google Ads account, please put them in the comments. Hopefully I can make a second part to this video. That would be very, very useful for people. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you're interested in any digital marketing services, just get in contact with me. I'll be happy to hear your inquiry. Thank you.